Hello and welcome to Valuechain News. I am Naomi Oleribe. First, the headlines. Reps ask GMPC to submit details of $12 billion natural gas pipeline project. Barge operations critical to reducing port gridlock, NIMASA DG. Workers raise alarm over security threats at nation sports. And now, the news in detail. The House of Representatives yesterday called on the Nigerian National Petroleum Company (NNPC) Limited to make available the report of the implementation, funds utilization and status of the $12 billion 4,128 kilometers natural gas pipeline project. It also urged the NNPC to review the National Gas Master Plan of the project in the light of present-day realities. The call was sequel to the consideration of a motion on the urgent need to address prolonged construction of the Trans-Saharan Natural Gas Pipeline project. In a motion moved at plenary by Ahmed Munir, he recalled that on 14th January 2002, the then Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) and the Algerian National Oil and Gas Company (Sonatrach) signed a memorandum of understanding (MOU) for a $12 billion 4,128 kilometers natural gas pipeline project with a projected annual capacity of 30 billion cubic meters that will extend gas supply to Europe. The lawmaker, however, expressed concern that in 2013, the federal government approved a budget of $400 million for commencement of the project, originally scheduled to be operational by 2020, with no commensurate progress made to date. Adopting the motion, the House mandated its Committee on Gas Resources to ensure compliance and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative action. The Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, Dr. Bashir Jamo, has said that a well-regulated barge operating industry in the maritime sector is critical to ending gridlocks on port access roads in Apapa. NIMASA's Director General, Dr. Bashir Jamo, disclosed this in Lagos while hosting members of Barge Operators Association of Nigeria (BON). He stated that barge operations have in no small way helped to reduce gridlock in Apapa, as they are involved with the transportation of container goods from one point to another within the inland waters. He urged the operators to invest in modern state-of-the-art barges that can enable them to compete favorably with their foreign counterparts, as this would help them remain in business and protect them from foreigners taking over their jobs. He assured that the agency will do all it can to promote barge operations as an alternative means of transportation. He enjoined them to brace up in the aspect of training of their members, as this will help them to meet up with modern-day realities and encourage professionalism in the discharge of their duties. The Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria (MWUN) has raised alarm over increasing security threats at the port formations and private jetties across the country, saying they have become very porous for vessels laden with dangerous cargoes such as illicit drugs, arms and ammunition, amongst others. MWUN blamed the absence of tally clerks and onboard security men on vehicles berthing and operating in the Nigerian waters and ports for the influx of the dangerous cargoes, and urged the federal government to return the tally clerks and the onboard security men, commonly known as onboard ship gangway security men, to check the influx of dangerous cargoes. They also urged the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, and the Minister of State for Petroleum, Timi Silver, to show more commitment and interest in the maritime sector, claiming the Transportation Minister's non-commitment to the sector is making the country lose huge revenue. The General Manager, Sustainability and Stakeholder Relations at the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, GMPC, Dr. Kwame Ba Nwako, has called for a firm national decision on what the real mandate of the National Oil Company should be. He said GMPC was not a private limited company but 100% state-owned, with the state's interest determined at any point by the government of the day. He said that most of the issues or operations of GMPC were couched in law, including the fact that government agencies such as the Bank of Ghana and the Ministry of Finance as the institutions that decide the release of the revenue that goes into the corporation. Its policy direction and the ventures that it can undertake are determined by politicians because GMPC's annual work program has to go to the parliament, and it is only the House that approves whether GMPC can spend certain monies or not. So if we put all these things into law, I am wondering how we are insulating GMPC from political interference when the Minister of Energy is the one who determines the policy direction, he said during a panel discussion on the 10th anniversary public lecture of the Public Interest and Accountability Committee (PIAC) in Accra. Germany has confirmed it will continue to pay for Russian gas in euros or dollars following a call between Chancellor Olaf Scholz and Russian President Vladimir Putin last night. A German government spokesperson told Reuters that Putin has assured Scholz nothing will change for European partners. In a phone call between the leaders, Putin told German Chancellor Olaf Scholz that nothing would change for European partners and payments will be made in euros and transferred to Gazprom Bank, which would convert the money into rubles, the German spokesperson said. Scholz did not agree to this procedure in the conversation but asked for written information to understand the procedure better, said the spokesperson. Putin has ordered the Russian Central Bank and Gazprom to prepare the payment scheme by the end of today. The Lagos state government on Wednesday said it had paid nothing less than 38 billion naira outstanding pensions to 9,865 retirees from May 2019 till date. The Commissioner for Establishments, Training and Pensions, Mrs. Ajibola Onle, said this at the presentation of bond certificates to the 92nd batch of retirees from the State Public Service by the Lagos State Pension Commission last PEC in Lagos. Onle, represented by Mrs. Bandele Fadibi, the Permanent Secretary in the Civil Service Pensions Office, said that the retirees were the mainstream local government, State Universal Basic Board, SUPEB, Teaching Service Commission (TESCOM), and other parastatals of the State Public Service. The commissioner said this was their past service benefits prior to the starting of the contributory pension scheme in 2007, assuring the beneficiaries that their welfare and well-being were a top priority of the Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu-led administration, and that the state government would not relent in its pursuit to improve retirement life. Before we end the news, here's a recap of our headlines. Reps ask NMPC to submit details of $12 billion natural gas pipeline project. Barge operations critical to reducing port gridlock, NIMASA DG. Workers raise alarm over security threats at Nation Sports. And that's the news. I am Naomi Oleribe. Good evening.